Resistance at 32 for a while now. False break. Wait, no. RSI's at 30. Tight build up. 30 to 32. No way. Holy shit. It's coming.
So, welcome to Stock Talk Live. And as we all want to know, what in God's name happened to the New York Stock Exchange at the open 2 days ago? You know, who's running this place? Who's running this place? Robbie V? I mean, it's figuring my daughter running it? I hope not, you know? But don't worry, folks. We're here to bring you the live action and some theories about what's going on, you know? And hey, you know, the only person less popular right now than the New York Stock Exchange, you know, opening person, whatever, is Justin Trudeau, who got, you know, screamed at and yelled at by a bunch of belligerent people last night. And with that, let's get to the show. I don't know. What do you think happened at the Post?
So to break it down here, yesterday at 9:30 market open. More at first it was reported 84, 85 tickers were experiencing abnormal activity. So basically there's no rhyme or reason really.
No.
A lot of tickers went up, a lot of tickers went down by double digits, a lot of them 14, 15, 16%, 20. And these are big companies. I mean, a Wells Fargo, McDonald's, plenty of big name companies. Walmart, I think, was in there.
Yeah, Walmart.
Some big companies that don't change. I mean, like I think McDonald's and Walmart, based on the price jump, increased their market cap by like $6 billion in a matter of a couple minutes, like 2 minutes on like 31,000 volume. It's like, what's going on here? And so what happens when there's big jumps like that, and we've talked about the halts that the market has in place, they're like safeguards. So this happened in 2020, in March of 2020, when the pandemic was starting, and everybody's panic selling, and there's circuit breakers in the system that trigger, and they, you know, let's hold on, let's take 5 minutes and come to our senses, hopefully, and we'll resume trading. So there were halts on. At first, it was reported, I think, 84. Later came out, it was over 250. Seeing some conflicting information on exactly how many impacted companies there were. But regardless, a large amount of companies impacted by this. I do have a clip. This is edited. And it's a guy on CNBC kind of breaking it down. This was from yesterday afternoon. Just as a point of clarification, this video is edited with some text, and it refers to our old friend Ken Griffin, and it calls him Mayo Boy. And I've never talked about that on here, but allegedly Ken Griffin, I think when he was a boy, had a friend over or something. I don't know where this story came from. I'll try to dig and find the origin, but when he was a boy, he had like a friend over, and they're sharing a meal, and Ken had like a bunch of mayonnaise, and the kid wanted can I try some of that? And the mom said like, no, like that's Kenny's. So people call him the Mayo Man, Mayo Boy. That's what that's referring to. But let's check out a little bit of a breakdown on this New York Stock Exchange BS, I would call it.
This was a multi-stock event, and there could be many stocks that are trading above 30% off of their prior price the day before when they open. Those stocks will probably be made whole. They will be declared clearly erroneous. Others that are trading below certain price bands, where even though they were down a lot, they weren't in a sufficient area around those price bands, they may not be busted and declared clearly erroneous. So it's a little confusing right now. What I can tell you, Sarah, is there was more than 200 stocks that were affected, including very big names. A lot of companies were down 10, 12, 14, 16, 20%, or even more. And the question is, are all of them going to be declared erroneous or not? And it looks like the NYSE is declaring a limited number of them erroneous.
Bullshit. Body weight goes down.
Some weird thing is going on. It's just bad market data. I'm hearing
just Stranger Things.
Tech issue, nothing happens. Bad data, bad market data, bad market data.
Bullshit.
These kinds of trading glitches have been associated with software upgrades or security upgrades around the system. We don't know that, but that has happened in the past, and that's a likely explanation for what happened. The one thing I can tell you for sure is the SEC is probably not going to be happy to hear about this, and likely there will be some large fines.
Bullshit.
So fun little edit there. Couple things on that. What he's talking about with erroneous trades, these companies that were impacted by this can submit. I don't know. I just read over it briefly. I was really trying to figure out what actually happened in my research. These companies that were impacted can submit to either the SEC or the New York Stock Exchange and say, look, this was erroneous, for lack of a better word, and those trades won't count. So basically what the text was inferring was, these stocks that go up, those are going to be counted as erroneous and it's going to go back to the normal price. But when it goes lower and allegedly Ken Griffin is buying cheaper, that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think the New York Stock Exchange, unfortunately, right now, I mean, this is really the second big scandal in a matter of months. I mean, it would be obviously people trading with CPI numbers before the news broke.
Yep.
So, I mean, this has literally happened twice in span of, 3 months. I mean, first and foremost, obviously, not a hot take, but it's not the best luck. The other thing is that I think the market should, if you're going to declare one stock's trades erroneous or whatever, then you literally, or whatever you want to call it, problem trading, you really have to basically, in my opinion, you have to declare it all, just like not legit market activity, and cancel all those trades. I mean, you can't, because what's to say? I mean, what are you going to do? Like research each individual case? And as you were talking about before in the green room, like they've all they've all changed their story already. So,
right. So yesterday came out first. It was a glitch.
Yeah.
And the suspicion was that somehow orders didn't make it to the book. And so there was no opening price. And that didn't make a whole lot of sense. They've since changed their story, and I have a source on that. CNBC. Now it was due to a manual error. So let's look through this. The root cause was determined to be a manual error involving the exchange's disaster recovery configuration at system start of day. I can go in and pull it. They're not supposed to switch over to disaster recovery protocols during the week. I think most people would agree that if that had happened, like, their IT department should all be fired today. So continuing on, that's all they're saying. In plain words, it appears they tested a disaster recovery configuration that did not involve using the floor, and it did not reset. So all those tickers that were impacted were not hooked up to that configuration, and that's why there was no opening order to start off with. What we know is that dozens of stocks opened at prices well above or below their prior day closing prices. Most were halted shortly after the open. Because this happened all in a matter of minutes, your stock jumps 20%, 2 minutes after market open. Like, that's pretty bizarre. And there's no activity leading up to the open, so also strange. The announcement by the New York Stock Exchange late Tuesday that some trades that occurred right at open would be busted, others would not, added to the confusion.
I mean, it's not to say that, like, stocks can't go up 20% at the open. I mean, that does happen. But I mean, those moves are relatively to like the OTC, Russell 2000, others will sharp 5, whatever it is, 5,000. I mean, the NYSE, like McDonald's, which is a $247 stock, going up freaking $50 at a crack. It's not really plausible.
And on such little volume, on 31,000 trades, and it is very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna catching a bid, and no one's gonna bid dump 31,000 shares at $40 below the share price. It really doesn't make any sense.
So my speculation, based on that, was that Citadel, the largest market maker and largest hedge fund, record profits, $16 billion last year.
Yeah, I saw that. I know.
Doubling up any other hedge fund on the planet.
Yeah.
Doing the impossible in a year where historical
market was down 20%. Yeah.
Yeah. And they made 16 bill. They got locked out of the order book yesterday morning, and stocks responded by correcting themselves 20%.
Yeah.
And then the limit up, limit down halts were triggered. Kind of weird.
No, it's definitely a little weird.
I also think it's plausible that Ken Griffin was buying up some cheaper stock there, or some assets that he holds in Citadel's hedge fund. Maybe they needed collateral for something I can get into later. And we needed those stocks to go up to cover so that Marge doesn't call, as they say, a margin call.
No, margin calls.
I have another video about another recent glitch, but I have to. The file was too large; I couldn't load it in. So just give me 1 second. This is about. We talked about it last week because it happened Monday last week, I believe, and into Tuesday. Still allegedly going on right now. Bank of America and Zelle had a glitch last week.
I know.
We still don't really have an answer to. Here's a news report out of Chicago.
I have literally none. I think I have $3 to my name.
Tonight, Bank of America says an earlier glitch that caused customers' bank accounts to show a zero balance has been fixed.
But that's not the story we're getting from irate customers.
Natalie Bomke here to explain what happened. Natalie.
Dawn and Corey, this specifically involves transactions made through the money transfer service Zelle. Bank of America customers reported transactions that had already posted to their accounts were suddenly gone, leaving their accounts in the red. Then, when customers tried to reach out to the bank or go in person, they were either turned away or got a busy signal. Bank of America put out a warning on its mobile app saying Zelle transactions made between January 17th may be delayed in occurring and to accounts as requested. Transfers will be completed and will appear in your account activity and balances as soon as possible. Zelle clarified the issue was strictly with Bank of America. We spoke with Serena Hartfield of Calumet City, who said today was supposed to be payday, but tonight her check still isn't in her account, and the bank told her to come back in the middle of February to get it straightened out.
Check my account, noticed that $2,689 was not in my account, and that's exactly how much my check would have been. I called the bank. The bank was not accepting any calls. I went to a branch. When I went to the branch, the line was around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how fast that went away. You know, I mean, that story was on the front page news.
I don't have confirmation that the issue is resolved.
No, there is no.
I was not impacted, but I mean, there's conflicting reports. Conflicting reports of, you know, it's not fixed. Oh no, it's fixed, and it's Zelle and Bank of America pointing the finger at the other one. Just a very, very strange glitch. Just a week ago.
I know. I mean, more and more of these things seem to be happening. I mean, obviously, which isn't good, you know. And they really need to be properly investigated and made sure that, you know, obviously this doesn't happen again and whatnot. And the proper controls definitely need to be in place. I mean, but, you know, in the two situations we just, you know, that we're talking about, it's a classic case of the controls not being met or followed, or, you know, or executed in any way, shape, or form, you know. Like the New York Stock Exchange, you know, going, you know, having stocks basically just erroneously trade or whatever you want to call it doesn't really mean you have like a proper risk protocol or control protocol in place. It's a little scary, I think. I mean,
I think so too.
Yeah. I have billions of dollars traded every day. You know, no one knows where it is.
I have another example of a glitch. This one from 13 months ago. Gonna be a little bit hard to read. But this is a Reddit post. Must be another coincidence. Fidelity's error of over 11 million additional shares for shorting compared to yesterday. GME price dropping from 200 to 188. You remember that before the split?
Yeah.
Over the course of this morning. And then the issue gets fixed at the exact time to the minute that the price stopped dropping. So from the Fidelity Investments subreddit, posted by Fidelity Investments, their official account.
Yeah.
The issue was fixed by 12:10 Eastern time today, and that's right when the price stopped dropping. Weird.
That's
weird
glitch
that all those shares became available to short just out of nowhere. Just a glitch. We fixed it.
I don't know. It's funny how that happens. It really is.
Because I had one of my buddies was saying it's just a glitch. It's just a glitch. I said, okay, yeah. I mean, glitches happen all the time. He's like, there you go. You're like, you're admitting that glitches happen all the time. It's like, yeah, they do. And I don't think that they can just be explained with a glitch. I think there's something more going on. I think you're getting a peek at the real data.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's like happening. You know, I think it's kind of ridiculous that none of this is really being actioned on. I mean, even look at like FTX. I mean, for God's sakes, like, you know, that, I mean, obviously there should be due diligence done by the feds or any authority, government or not. I mean, people really need to. I mean, we need to understand what happened so it never happens again.
So I've kind of changed my tune on FTX. I think he's still a scumbag.
No,
but
yeah. There's no doubt about that.
I don't think he should be villainized as much as people like myself have been doing, because this is learned behavior, right? I mean, he's Sam Bankman-Fried. He's just following what Ken Griffin does every day, what Fidelity does every day. I really do not believe that your broker buys the shares when you say buy them. I think they credit your account and give you an IOU, and they'll buy the share later or not at all. And that's why I'm a DRS guy. Directly register your shares, and force your broker to buy the share.
Yeah, I mean, by directly registering, you're forcing your hand. Yeah.
It's no different than you can request a paper stock. I think you have to pay for it.
Yeah, stock certificate.
Yeah, but you can get a certificate, and frame it or whatever. I own. Like they did in the old days. You had shares and physical proof.
Yeah. The IBM ones were the popular ones.
Yeah.
I actually have
Disney too, I guess.
Yeah. McDonald's, and whatnot. No, I mean, Freed is. It probably was learned behavior to a point, but still, I mean, taking everyone's money. I mean, come on.
Right. I do think he's dishonest.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
And a crook, and who knows
all the above.
How many people he paid off to have them look the other way.
Yeah.
What did I say last week? 1 in 3 Congress members accepted money from FTX.
Oh yeah. No, I mean. But that's the thing is a lot of people in politics will accept money from the big financial firms, but I mean, they won't disclose it. You have to go digging through their, their super PACs to see who's giving and whatnot. I think I mean,
Can you hear that?
Hear what?
This person who lives next door to me is just shouting. She's been shouting since I got home from work.
Really?
I mean, just because you have sex with black guys doesn't mean it's okay for you to use the N-word, lady.
Whoa. That's
What'll peek behind the curtain?
Yeah, no,
it's just very distracting.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I think she needs to
tone it down.
I think she might need to grow up.
Yeah, that too.
Maybe get a job, do something. It's always important to get a job, get a bank account.
It's how you pay for stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. Maybe we can have her on next episode. Just be like,
oh,
you need to grow up.
No.
Just be like, you need to grow up, lady. No. The market.
Go ahead.
Market's it's not really going anywhere good right now. Jesus. I mean, it's up. Lately it hasn't been doing the best. I mean, I know it's up 5% on the year, but I think it was the past 5 days or a month. I mean, it's kind of just been topsy-turvy a little bit.
Well, it was weird that market was down all morning and then rallied back.
Oh, the miraculous 3:00 rally.
Call it the power hour.
Yeah, the power hour. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know. I think there's a tug of war and basically what people think is going to happen, but economic recession to cutting interest rates and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and obviously, I think we're in we are in a recession and profits recession as well. For companies. I mean, the banks have been getting smashed. I mean, they did get smashed lately after some of those earnings calls, and then some people are getting into Bitcoin again. I mean, Bitcoin's up to 23. I mean, it was right before Davos.
Yeah.
When Bitcoin goes on a tear, which is interesting in itself.
Ethereum performing.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin Cash. That was up today too, I think.
Yeah. I watch Ethereum just because GameStop's wallet and their NFT marketplace is built on the Ethereum platform. Yeah. I don't know a ton about it. I'm not a crypto bro.
No, I'm not either.
I bought a bunch of Burger King lunches when they were giving out the chance to win a Bitcoin. It's like if you spend $5, you either get a Dogecoin or the chance at a Bitcoin, and probably spend $25 on lunches just to get 30 cents worth of Dogecoin.
alright.
But it could have been 50K in Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't know unless you play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was when they had the ghost pepper nugs. So I was about that. Before inflation really took off, you could still get 8 chicken nuggets for $1.49.
I know. What is it? I haven't been to Burger King forever.
4 nuggets at McDonald's is over $2.
Oh no, Jesus. What are you gonna? I mean, what are you gonna do? You know. I mean, stuff I think is eventually is gonna. What's it called? I mean, I think the interest rates hikes are helping out. You know, they're starting to get down inflation, but whether or not it stays down is a whole different story. You know, if you start hiking again, then start dropping the interest rates again. I mean, then it's obviously going to be a problem.
Stuff just costs more. It's crazy, man.
No, I know. Some stuff is starting to come back down though, but yeah.
Like what?
I don't know. Yeah, things are happening. I don't know. My firewood's the same cost. I mean, I got to get some.
Same is good.
Yeah, got no problem with that. It's high quality stuff. You know.
I'll tell you what. At work, we've been having an issue with our utilities. Where, one example, we paid a utility bill on December 22nd. The check went out. Yeah, we still pay by check. Check goes out December 22nd. They don't cash it until January 3rd. It was due on the 31st or the 1st, and they charged a late fee. When it's like, you should have had it in plenty of time. And what, you just didn't have anybody in your AR department like cashing check, depositing checks, and you're going to charge, it's a couple bucks, $25 in a late fee or whatever. But I mean, do that a couple thousand times. So we've been paying utility bills since we've noticed that trend, because it happened multiple times. Like
really?
A credit card too. Yeah, we started paying that stuff, early, because I mean, some of our other vendors we can stretch out.
Yeah.
A couple days past that 30-day due date. But the utilities, they're charging a late fee, and it's like, we're not doing this. Or financing fee.
Yeah, well, a lot of the utilities are doing that because, basically, I mean, so many people are behind on their power bills right now. Not only that, businesses, individual homes and whatnot. I think, the utility companies. I mean, I think it was just only a matter of time. Unfortunately, they were eventually gonna do it. I'm not saying they're right by doing it by any means.
No.
But I know that, like some towns now, I mean, people are like a year behind on their water bill. They're finally just shutting it off.
That's bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, like we've been talking about for a long time, I think rising prices are starting to catch up to people. Credit card debt's just out of control.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually, people, I mean, it's the world we live in to keep up with the Joneses,
Right. I saw an alert this afternoon or this evening. Fox Business reported that consumers are planning to spend more on Valentine's Day this year, despite costs, despite, rising credit card debt. Just spend. People still going out to eat.
Yeah. I mean,
I did see something this week though that was like some like TikTok influencer. I hate that influencer.
Yeah.
But they put out a video and it was like, okay, Chipotle is pretty expensive to get like a burrito bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna make a steak bowl myself at home. And she bought enough to make 2, and it was like $32. And it's like, Chipotle is like 16 after tax. Like it really doesn't, like, it's almost cheaper for a single person to just eat out.
Yeah, I mean,
for families it's different, but for one, cooking for one is expensive.
Yeah, because you're buying like extra pepper. Yeah,
Yeah, I get the family pack of chicken breasts, and I eat the exact same meal 5 days in a row. Or I could go out a couple times and mix it up.
Yeah. No, I mean chicken. I don't know. I did the same thing. I used to make good feta chicken, and it was economical because didn't cost too much, and I could eat it for a couple days. Did the same thing.
Just a bunch of chicken breasts, dump a jar of salsa in there, maybe some corn, beans, done.
Yeah, basically.
Throw it in the crock pot.
No, I know.
But my grandpa's like, you eat the exact same thing for lunch every day? It's like, sometimes, yeah. So you don't get sick of it? It's like, maybe I'll switch it to dinner one time, but yeah, I'm eating the same meal 5 days in a row.
I think a lot of people are doing that. I mean, hey, go to Market Basket. There's as many beat up cars as there is Audi Q5s. Shout out to the guy who almost hit me the other day when I was in the parking lot. Well, no, I wasn't driving. I was just like, he had his head buried.
It's even worse.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. It was pouring rain, man. I didn't care. I just had to do what I needed to do. Go to the supermarket. I do think though, obviously, look, we're in a profits recession. There's no doubt about that. We're obviously, I think you're starting to see oil start spiking up again. Obviously, and that's due to China demand and whatnot. I think one of the more interesting things to see how it'll play out is the housing market as we look forward. The market's definitely starting to take a digger. I saw San Francisco is just falling off a cliff, which is rightfully so. Those prices were so inflated to begin with. But I think you're going to start to. I know in mass, you're definitely going to start to see it soon. The year-over-year price comparisons. There's a report. There's a group that on the Warren Group they do that. I think eventually you'll see it. I'm not saying it's going to be I'm not going to call a month be like February or March, but I think in due time you will. And also with all the tech layoffs in mass, Wayfair. Obviously Wayfair. I think Google, we were talking about earlier, was a real big surprise.
Google, Twitter, Microsoft. I don't know who else. But big players.
Yeah, no, big players.
Amazon recently.
Amazon, yeah. But I think eventually you're going to start to see those layoffs, and other smaller firms I think are starting to get rid of people. But just because they say they're going to lay off, a lot of those are underperformers. I think a lot of people think they're going to go in and you're going to fire your dead weight first before you fire anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this on Zero Hedge. I read today something interesting is when you cut costs or cut expenses, that's cutting someone else's revenue. I thought that was a really interesting way of thinking about it.
Yeah,
like a circle.
Yeah, basically. I think a lot of people. You are, because you're not paying out as much in the economy. Economy doesn't grow from cutting expenses. That's someone's job you're taking. He's going to pump stuff into the economy.
Right, like Twitter lays off workers to save money. I could see how that could take revenue away from a competitor like Facebook.
Yeah. I think Facebook is having a lot of problems. I saw who they reinstated tonight, and I think they did that for a reason.
My man.
No, I seriously
think
is
he? Where is he?
I don't think he's posted anything on the FB app or Insta or whatever you want to call it. You're bringing up a Trump gif. Audio. Oh, Jesus.
From Trump Tower.
Oh, really? I've been in New York City. I never went there.
From the gift shop that's not affiliated with Trump Tower, that's in Trump Tower. Well, there's two gift shops in Trump Tower in New York City. There's one with all the really expensive shit, and then there's one with all the little gag gifts like this pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a guy like
Soho, right? Doesn't he?
I don't know.
Thought he did.
I mean, there's a guy in the gift shop, and he's got like a deck of cards, and he's like, Melania's the queen and Trump's the king, and look, Hillary's the Joker. Just a little novelty deck of cards, bobbleheads and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. He has Trump Soho. Yeah.
Yeah, he got reinstated on Facebook. I'm bearish on Facebook because Kramer said buy Meta.
Yeah, I don't.
So inverse Kramer would suggest sell Meta.
Yeah, I don't.
Not financial advice.
I don't think Facebook is going to go anywhere. I mean, I think we've seen the peak.
No, but I don't. If he says buy something, I always want to sell it.
I know.
Proven returns. The inverse Kramer fake ETF. If you just go against everything he says, I mean, I think for 2022 you would have been up 21 or 22%.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean,
you got to be diligent about it, and you got to pick your spots.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you definitely have to be diligent about it. I mean, the guy's a lot of things, but he's not. I mean, he is smart to a point. You can't just be like, oh, hey, he has had some good calls.
Yeah, he toes that shill line.
Yeah, he toes it very well. There's no doubt about that. No, he definitely toes it.
Go ahead.
No, he toes it very well. I mean, there's no doubt.
We had 2 weeks in a row, Robbie. A Ryan Cohen tweet today.
Oh, the 741.
No, but that was a strange coincidence that you DM me back at 7:41 tonight. That number just keeps popping up. We got a Ryan Cohen tweet today. And let's talk about what you think this means, and then I'll tell you what my tinfoil is.
Yeah.
Ryan Cohen tweeted, you've made it when you buy a turtleneck. What do you think that means?
I mean, I'm reading the comment below, but
from our friend, hopefully our friend,
Yeah,
he follows me back. He opened his DMs. That Short Destroyer, potentially gonna get him on as a guest. I'm gonna float it by him.
I don't see many turtlenecks at Bye Baby though. I'm just being honest.
Okay, I hadn't considered that.
I mean, I'm just I haven't spent some time in the store. It's like
I've got my own tinfoil on, and I can explain it. What my thinking was with this. Well, let's read Short Destroyer. He said, "Holy shit, RC announcement of BBY acquisition in 50 days, guys. Coincidentally, this aligns with the next Gamma Ramp Reg Show day. Coincidentally, Bed Bath & Beyond trading at 3.33, and according to my angel number and horoscope, this confirms everything I've just said. Bullish for Bed Bath & Beyond. He did a search for turtleneck and explore more at our other store, Bye Bye Baby."
Yeah. Okay,
I think he's being sarcastic because he's a Bed Bath & Beyond hater. Short Destroyer.
Really? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk numbers here. So basically, if Ryan Cohen wanted to buy Bed Bath & Beyond and Bye Bye Baby, right, it would cost, market cap today is $380 million, right? So that's how much it would cost to get everyone out, basically. I mean, that's at the fucking floor, right? So
yeah,
$380 million. I mean, how much is he worth? I don't even know.
Over $1 billion.
Okay, over $1 billion. All right, so let's just say him and ICOM,
Here we go.
Put up what? I mean, put up 190. Okay, put up 120, 120, and they got the other financing from, I don't know. Who knows? Like the latest lottery winner. I mean, yeah, it's not going to take that much to get that going in motion. You know what I mean? I mean,
And it'd be even less if he could carve out Bye Bye Baby.
Yeah, I mean, but
I
the thing
only
is,
want Bye Bye Baby.
but he'd have to hit the ground. Yeah, but he'd have to hit the ground running with that store because, I mean,
sure.
But I mean, I'm not saying it can't be done. I mean, I think a lot of people are stuck with Carter's, Gymboree, all that shit. You know, I mean, and Lord knows there's enough retail space in malls right now where you could get some cheap leases and just, you know, carve out niche stores and whatnot. And if you do bring the Chewy concept to Bye Bye Baby, yeah, it could work. There's no doubt about that.
So my thinking on this was Ryan's tweeted before, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big time Apple owner. I think he owns at least 9% of the company.
Apple.
He's a big time Apple owner. And my thinking on this tweet was, you know, you've made it when you buy a turtleneck. What do I associate turtlenecks with? Steve Jobs always wore a turtleneck for a big announcement. You know you've made it when you buy a turtleneck. Maybe he's secured that Bed Bath & Beyond acquisition. Short Destroyer might be being facetious here, but he might, you know, be kind of tongue in cheek, and it's like half joke, half not. Like the angel number and horoscope, that's sarcasm, I think.
Yeah.
And he goes after this guy, Tendy Bear, and all the time. Look at, there's Lightning Warrior up at the top there too. Turtles. Yeah. I've been dropping turtle. The speculation with this dropping turtle heads all day. Turtle head, another word for or is a slang term for when you got a poop hanging out.
Yeah.
So the speculation with the turtleneck is there's poop coming out. There's no toilet anywhere nearby. And I wanted to get into my other theory on the New York Stock Exchange, kind of linking the two, is there's very good reason to suspect that 2 years ago, during that massive GameStop run-up, that short hedge funds bet long against GameStop with, they're called DOOMPs.
Yeah.
Deep out of the money puts. And those would have expired like this week or last Friday or this week. And, you know, that kind of checks out with Monday. Stock ran 10%.
Yeah.
At one point it was up 14.5%. Then once it was right at that 50-day moving average, kind of just hugged that line and didn't budge the rest of the afternoon. But what Walrus Farts was implying, I think I've been dropping turtle heads all day. There's no toilet around for your DOOMPs, your dumps. So, I mean, what if you don't if all those expired worthless? Because they're basically betting. What I'm suggesting here is people who are betting against GameStop bet that it was going to be bankrupt by now. 2 years.
Yeah.
It's running up. 2 years from now, they won't even be around, and they survived. So what do you do with that collateral? Because like a deep out of the money put, you know, if you buy it for 10 cents and it goes up to 11 cents, that's a 10% increase. Like you're okay.
Yeah.
But what are they doing about that collateral now that those have expired worthless? I don't know.
Man.
Speculation, get the tinfoil out.
I don't know
what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I think he might have a big announcement, turtleneck and Steve Jobs. That made the most sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think he's. This is a tough one. I mean, obviously, it's a big announcement. I mean, it's going to be a big announcement. You know. I mean, that's obvious, but.
It could be nothing, but it's fun to speculate at what he's talking about. What
definitely.
the heck does this mean? It's cryptic.
No, it's very cryptic, to be honest with you. I mean,
Or you've made it when maybe we made it. We made it out. They bet that GameStop is going to be out of business by now, and they're not.
Yeah.
Cash flow positive.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just saying, you've made it.
Well, I mean, GME, they're up what? They're up to $20 right now. I mean,
and I have to keep reminding myself because it's psychological warfare here.
Oh yeah,
people.
Absolutely.
This is a manipulated stock. I don't think anybody denies that.
Mm-hmm.
Crashing it to I think it was at 14 or 15 and change at its lowest recently. Mentally you're like, and I look at my computer share account and it's like, this used to be worth way more. And now I have even more shares. It's worth less. The psychology behind it is they're trying to break you. But what I was getting at is it's at about $20 right now. Multiply that by 4 because now I have 4 times as many shares. That's really $80. And GameStop at 80 2 years ago. I mean, that was just the start of the run up, really.
No, absolutely.
It went 20, then the next day it closed at 80, and I'm like calling up my dad, like, you got to jump on this, like throw some money in GameStop. Then it goes up to 200, then up to 330.
Yeah.
And they shut off the buy button.
I don't know. Talked about it many times. It's ridiculous that was allowed to happen. I mean, it really was.
I'm talking a lot tonight. It's like I didn't have any afternoon coffee or anything.
It's all right.
We did get a new coffee maker at work.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we got
nice.
The bosses promised the engineers, like, if we got another big sale or another big job before the end of the year, we'd get a new coffee maker.
Yeah.
Because the other one was like with the grounds and it goes in a carafe and people are just pouring. It sits all day. It's gross. And these guys are all coffee snobs in the office. So we got a nice one that it grinds the beans for each cup. It does espresso. It's got the milk steamer. Dude, this is a $600 coffee maker. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I've never had espresso. They used to have
boss came by yesterday, walked in my office. He goes, I'm having an espresso, a double. Like, that's just what you need.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I never really was a big coffee guy.
I wasn't until I started working full time, and I'm like, everybody else drinks coffee. I'm pretty tired right now in the afternoon, and
yeah,
I kind of made it like a routine. Back when doesn't have to do with finance at all, but I had a routine back when Barstool was on Sirius XM.
Mm-hmm.
At like 2:45 or 2:50, I would go get coffee.
Yeah.
And then 3:00 Barstool Chicago would be on from 3 to 4 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And so pretty much by the time the show was starting, my coffee would be cooled down enough to drink. And then I'm feeling good for my coffee. I'm listening to the boys and usually a good show.
Yeah.
And then by the time the show's over, it's 4:00. It's almost time to go.
Huh.
I mean, genius routine, I think.
Yeah, I usually just go get dunks on D Street before I just head in. It's not bad. And I mean, the guy downstairs, like, their coffee is not big enough. Like, it's not that good, to be honest with you. I'm not saying where I get, what's downstairs from me. There's a lot of places you guys can try.
These guys in the office, they're making cappuccinos in the morning. It's an impressive coffee maker. I like it.
There's actually some firms that subsidize breakfast. I actually worked at one of them for a couple months. It was interesting because you see people like hammering back like omelets and stuff, and then the next thing you know, you just be like, "What the fuck? Like, this is only $4. This is great." But they wanted people to. They basically wanted people to, arrive like alive and well.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, which is always interesting.
I've been seeing those get ready with me videos, those TikToks and everything.
Oh God.
Yeah, day in my life at Google. I got to the office early. I like to have breakfast. I got a coffee and this green juice. And then I went to this fancy meeting room and I took my meeting, and then it was time for lunch. And lunch is everything's free. Look at the spread. And at the end of the day, I like to wind down. They got pinball and whatever.
Yeah.
Funny how those people are the ones that are getting axed. It's like,
I know.
I saw some kind of meme. It was Google's laying off people. Who's it going to be? Did you make one of these TikTok videos? Yep.
No, I know. I mean, I think,
and that's at Twitter too. It's all over.
I mean, it's also amazing work from home, really taking hold. I mean, I think office space in Boston right now, in New York, and I mean, it's still anywhere near what it once was. And I think that's only going to, continue. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with all the empty office buildings. I mean, that's the truth. No, I don't know either. I mean, I know New York City was trying to get companies to get people back in the office, but I mean, when your subways are unsafe and people partying on the subway, it's probably not the best thing. And committing
I don't like work from home. I mean, she's still going off next door. Imagine if I was working,
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, but I have I have kind of my separate area, so it's nice, Like during the Masters, I can just keep that on during the NCAAs, and whatnot, So I have no complaints.
Just got tagged in a Reddit post.
Nice.
No.
Oh, what happened?
In the subreddit SHIB_token. So I imagine this is Shiba Inu, which trades for fractions of a penny. I mean, this is
just
a shill. This is a shill if I've ever seen one.
Be surprised,
That Robbie, all they did was scour the Superstar subreddit and found my post, and they said, "Oh, I'm gonna get this sucker into something else." I mean, that's seriously what they do. If you join one finance Discord, that's exactly what happens. Is your DMs just fill up, and it's like, "Hey, join this. We've got the next pump and dump. Get out at the top every time."
Yeah. It's definitely. You guys are. It's I'm sure you guys are. Have all the answers.
You got to know your limits. I mean, what are you looking to make? What would you be happy getting out at? There's no floor for me with GameStop. I mean, yeah, if it hits, let's say it hits 3,000 a share, I might sell one and have a fun night with the boys.
Yeah.
But I'm hanging on to almost all of them. We're riding this thing.
I know. It's like a Vegas roller coaster ride.
You sell a couple on the way up just to, I mean, all at 3,000. I mean, you sell one or two and you're safe. The rest it doesn't matter if it goes to zero.
No, I know.
It's not. GameStop's not going out of business.
Was it
Did I mention that I got my PS5 week and a half ago?
Yeah.
And not one GameStop within 30 miles of me had NHL 23 on it for PS5.
That's kind of insane. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I thought it was insane, but I mean, everybody's like, can't you just download it? It's like, yeah, but I have an investment in GameStop and I want to support the company. So I ordered it on their app and I had it 2 days later.
Yeah, no. I am.
Because I ordered it after the cutoff for their next day shipping. That's important to note.
Oh, they have a cutoff for next day. I didn't know.
Yeah, you got to order before 5 o'clock, and certain orders will be eligible for next day shipping, which would have been like an extra $1.
Yeah.
But it still came in 2 days.
Yeah. What was I going to say? The one thing that'll be tomorrow's actually going to be an active day in the market because tomorrow's GDP, durable goods, home sales. I mean, it could be a big update. It could be.
Oh yeah.
It could be bad. But we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I did know, I certainly wouldn't be working every day, waking up at 7 o'clock working every day. I'll tell you that right now. That's if I did know, but I don't. Hey, Massachusetts, you can finally bet in the casino on sports on the 31st. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That's good news.
Yeah, no, it is.
Don't
mobile,
you've got mobile, right?
No, mobile in Mass isn't going to be until March.
Okay. All right, so that's kind of how it worked in New York. We had physical sports books before the in-app technology was ready.
Yeah, one of the places it's going to be is it's going to be at Encore. I know Springfield MGM. The former dog track owner is trying to get a sports book at his place. Shout out to Raymond Taunton Greyhound Park. Long live the Greyhound racing, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's like a horse parlor, better place now. It'll be interesting. I mean, he also tried to bring like horse racing to like the Brockton Fairgrounds, which failed miserably because the place is a dump. I mean, he needs to fucking get it together. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
If you like betting on sports, I recommend going to a sports book at least once. It's fun.
Yeah.
They got massive TV. Every game's on. There's something about placing your bet at the window and having a physical slip. Got to be careful that you don't throw out any winners. I've definitely crumpled up one that was actually a winner, and I had to fish it out of the trash.
Yeah, I know that's not good.
There's something enjoyable about that. Now we've got in-app, so I'm not going to drive to the casino to do that because then you got to drive back to cash it.
Yeah,
but if I'm around, like, it's definitely a fun experience. I took one of my buddies there. I said, "Hey, I'm going to bet on some of these college basketball games. Bring $10 and we'll put a bet on whatever my strongest pick is." And ended up hitting, and he thought I was scamming him. He was in town, and I'm like,
excuse me.
Instead of you driving back there or me taking us out there to go cash it, I'll just give you $21 for this $11 winner.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Dude, you would take this to the window and get $21 back. I'm giving you 21 because I'm gonna cash it as if it were mine."
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not robbing you. I gave you a winner, bro.
No, I know. Jesus Christ.
That was University of Northern Iowa.
Oh. The official pick of Stock Talk Live,
Not
Just
every
kidding.
time.
Just kidding.
They play Drake a lot. I like Drake too.
Nice.
Shout out Dr. Fatah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't really
I was looking for one other thing that I saw. I don't remember what I thought it was on Twitter, but I guess it's not. But I saw like an interesting theory on what that Ryan Cohen tweet really means. I'll have to dig it up. If I do, I'll tweet it out. I'll send it to you.
No, definitely. Well, Stock Talk Live have kind of been everywhere today.
Dude, I messed up so bad with our outro song because they played it at the minor league hockey game that I was at earlier this month.
Yeah.
And I meant to whip out my phone and start recording, but I didn't want to look like a loser. I mean, I was there by myself, so already a loser. But
that's all right.
It would have been funny to get our outro at the hockey game. Because I was bopping my head and everybody's like, this guy knows this song. Hell yeah.
Oh, I know. Well, I think it's about that time. There's only one thing left to do.
Yeah, and we're talking about it. Pump it up. See you next week.
See ya.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.